So I'm in the middle of a workout at the moment, so if the camera moves about a bit, it's probably just because I'm doing a set, because the camera's right under my squat rack at the moment and I'm doing some squats. So this video is going to be about injury, but I'm just going to quickly talk about a kind of quick channel update. So my upload schedule will probably be Tuesdays and Fridays from now on. So Tuesdays will probably be more knowledge-based content and maybe like a training day, because I've decided like training week vlogs, they're just like too long. Like 16 minutes is too long for a video in like my eyes anyway. Like people don't want to watch 16 minutes worth of me like going to the gym and like, I don't know, doing other things that are maybe like not as interesting. So I'll probably just upload like a day of my training and then I'll be like more in depth with it. So that's kind of just like the update. And then Fridays also, they will be kind of like dunk session days. So every 2 weeks I'll probably post a dunk session, just because I'm only jumping about twice a week. And it's only like 10 or 15 times, so I'll probably just like put those 2 sessions into one and then just upload that every 2 weeks. And then in between that on Fridays, I'll probably have like sprint progress and then some other video ideas I've got. So that's just a quick channel update. But anyway, I'll get into the video. So basically this video is about injury. So I pulled my hamstring. I think it was like a grade 1 pull. But I pulled it about 10 days ago from today. So basically I pulled it sprinting. I just kind of want to talk about the recovery process of like injuries and like my ideas around it as well, I guess. But first of all, like injury is probably the most annoying thing about training, just because it's like, it takes you out of what you love doing for like a week, 2, even like months, you know, like it takes you out for a while. So it's really important to kind of follow a kind of strict protocol to get back as fast as you can, but also to make sure you're not coming back too fast to the point where you just re-injure yourself and spend even more time rehabbing. So basically what I'm going to do is kind of detail what I've done so far and how I've came back to training. So I'm like 10 days out from the pool and I'm already back to basically training, like not max effort, but max effort in the weight room and kind of like 50% sprints, and I'll talk about that a bit later. So what I did initially after the injury was I followed the 2 rules, which is protect and vest. So when I talk about the guidelines, I kind of followed them loosely. So on the initial day of the pool, I did my weight room session after that. So I had bench press and a few other exercises. So I kind of worked around the injury and did what I could without actually like aggravating the injury. So I had bench press and I think I had clean and jerks on the day. So instead of doing like proper cleans from the floor, because I know if I did that it would probably aggravate my hamstring, I did some like hip cleans. So basically I barely bent my back, barely bent anything, and just kind of basically muscled it up essentially, but still got some hip extension into it. So I did that and kind of worked around the injury, and that didn't aggravate it, but it helped me kind of stay on track towards training, I guess. So then the next stages of the PRICE acronym is ice, compress and elevate. So ice is something that I think actually the person that coined the acronym, they said that icing actually isn't really necessary and in some cases can actually make the injury worse. So I might find some studies for this video and just put them in the description that'll like back up some of the points I make. But it just depends how lazy I'm feeling. If there's not any studies, then obviously I've been lazy and not done it. But yeah, so icing isn't really necessary, but compressing and elevating, so I did that. So as soon as I pulled it, I think within the next like few hours, I put on a like compression wrap. So you can get these in like pharmacy stores and stuff. So basically you just get like a little bit of, I don't know what it's exactly called, I'll kind of just put up on screen at the moment, but you get that and you just kind of put it on your leg and it kind of compresses it. So you wear that for I think 48 hours after the injury, and after that you don't need to compress anymore. And then elevation is kind of something that's also similar. You only use that for like 48 hours to 72 hours, I think it is. Then after that, you don't really do that anymore. So basically how you do elevation is you just kind of get some pillows, stack them up, and then you'll kind of just put your feet up on the pillow. So you want to like elevate the injury. So when I injured my hamstring, I'd be laying like this with my like leg up on pillows so that the blood can kind of like flow in here. So that was kind of the things I did within the first like 72 hours. So then we're on to the 72 hour and onwards phase. So on the Monday, it was like the 72nd hour after the injury. So what I did was I kind of just worked on what was planned, but I just kind of adjusted it to what I could actually do. So I'll put on screen some of the things I did do at this point of the injury. But essentially what I mainly focused on was just technique. So I was just kind of drilling in some good technique, some good front rack positions for the clean, because that's kind of like a place where I've been notoriously like bad in the clean. So I worked on that just with lighter weights. So even though I'm injured, I can still kind of work on things and work to improve certain aspects of training. So I also did some single leg Nordic curls at this point. So what I did was I just lowered with one leg and then tried to come back up. So this proved to be really hard, but I just did it with my right leg because my left leg was still injured, so I didn't really want to push it too hard. So I did this because there's a study about cross education. So basically what cross education is it's when you train one limb or one side of the body and the other side kind of gets benefits from it as well. So that's kind of the idea behind cross education. So if I do it with my right leg, my left hamstring will also get a bit healthier as well. So then 7 days after the injury, I did some jumps. So I did some like standing vertical jumps, and I'll just kind of show you them now. So this was on the Friday, and basically I adjusted this so that I could build confidence back up again to get ready for like proper training and like proper jumping and sprinting. So now I'm 10 days out, it's the Monday, as I said earlier. But now what I'm doing is I'm getting back into proper training. So obviously I said earlier, in the weight room I'm back to doing the normal things that I would be doing, and also did some sprints today. So instead of going max effort on the sprints, I've decided I'm just going to do like 50% intensity sprints. So that puts me at a 7.8 second 40 meter sprint. So that's what I was doing today. I was trying to stay within that range, and I did quite good with that. So I'm just going to kind of bump it up each session. So I'm going to start session 1 today, obviously. I did that at 50% intensity. Then the next session I'll bump it up 5% to 55, 60, 65, and kind of like so on like that. So each session I'll kind of just progress the intensity a little bit just to kind of build that confidence back up again, as I said earlier. And also on the Saturday I've got some jumps that I'll be doing, so it's just kind of low volume jumps. So I'll kind of try 1 foot and see how it feels. If not, I might focus more on 2 foot just because 2 foot doesn't really aggravate my hamstring as much. So yeah, that's all the kind of things that I'm doing with my injury and how I'm kind of recovering from it. So I hope it helps whoever's watching this. If it doesn't, I mean, I guess it is what it is, but thank you for watching anyway.